for watching Candid Conversations with Christen. I'm Christen Hyde, the host of the podcast, where I spotlight things, people, places, and events in the city of Thomasville and surrounding areas. Today, I am speaking with longtime medical professional, Dr. Daveta Dozier, and we just want to, since we're wrapping up the month of October, we just want to spread some awareness about breast cancer and talk a little bit about her own journey with the disease. So, thank you for being here, Dr. Daveta.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm glad to talk with you.
Thank you. So I just want to jump right on in and let's talk a little bit about breast cancer and, talk about, I guess, how prevalent it is in the community and over the country.
Well, one thing that's been very interesting to me is that for the past 40 years, I've studied this, I've given talks about it, and even back then, the incidence was 1 in 8 of every woman it was going to develop breast cancer. And even today, it's still 1 in every 8 women. So we haven't done much as far as the incidence of breast cancer, but we have improved on the mortality rate, which means even people who are getting breast cancer now, we're catching it so much earlier that we're able to treat the disease and people are not dying with it like they used to. In fact, we have like a greater than 90% chance of living at least 5 years, and most of them even longer than that. So that it's been very good that we're seeing some improvement. Now, most of the improvement has to do with the fact that our mammograms are so much better. We have not only 2D mammograms, but now we have 3D, and we even have MRIs of the breast. So that helps the diagnosis, and we can catch it so much earlier than we could in the past.
Gotcha. So I guess talk about a little bit of the symptoms of breast cancer, if they are any.
Most of the time, there aren't any symptoms until the breast cancer has developed even farther. Usually the best way to pick up breast cancer is to screen for it, and that's by using a mammogram. We usually start those at age 40, and there's a whole thing about at age between 35 and 40 you get your first baseline. Then between 40 and 50 you get checked every 2 years. And then after age 50, it's every year until you're 75. Tell you what though, a lot of people are living past 75. In fact, that's very young.
Yes.
Even younger every day. But nowadays, even if someone's in their 80s, if they have any kind of symptoms, we want to go ahead and check. The symptoms are usually either feeling a painless knot. Sometimes there can be discharge from the nipple. If anyone kind of has a skin changes, like a dimpling in the skin. But if, most women check themselves, and if they ever feel a lump that's not normal, doesn't feel usual, then that's the time to get that mammogram.
Gotcha. So I guess talk about the screening. I know they used to suggest self-screenings at home. So I guess talk a little bit more about the screening process.
Okay. Well, one thing is it's hard to detect in younger women.
Okay.
And it's more aggressive in younger women. So if a person just has a normal risk, in other words, they've never had a family member with breast cancer, and they don't have any other genetic predisposition that they know of, then I'd say 35 to 40, get that first mammogram. Otherwise, if you have a family member that has had breast cancer, or if prostate cancer runs in the men in the family, or if family members have that gene, like the BRCA gene, there's a 1 and a 2, and there's even a check gene and several other genes that they can detect now. So if you know of anyone in the family, it's good to go ahead and be checked even at a younger age.
Gotcha. And how common is breast cancer?
Well, the fact that it's 1 in every 8 women it seems like it's even more common around here. But I think the reason it seems more common is that we're picking up things so much earlier. And doing the mammograms and the MRIs, a lot of times we end up doing biopsies and finding out that it's normal. It's just normal breast tissue. Because there are a lot of women who have real dense breasts that are actually what we call fibrocystic. And those are a little bit harder to see problems. And so a lot of times we end up doing biopsies, but they're negative. So you probably hear a lot about women that have a lump or a knot, and it's always just good to get checked by a primary care person.
Gotcha. So do you suggest that women go get genetic testing, if they think they may be more susceptible to breast cancer, or like you said earlier, like it may run in the family?
I think genetic testing is great, but that's kind of down the line from where a person needs to be. Our main goal is to get people in to see their family doctor or nurse practitioner, or even the health department to get screening, because it's so important to do that screening. Used to, people would wait until they felt a lump, and by then it could have already spread. So another thing is we found out that people who a lot of times don't have access to care, especially African Americans, also the Alaskan women and Native Americans have a worse outcome with breast cancer because a lot of times they don't seek care early enough. So I'm glad that our younger generation is becoming more aware and going ahead and being checked.
Gotcha. So I guess talk a little bit about your own, journey with breast cancer a little bit, because you are a breast cancer survivor.
Well, actually, I've had so many patients that have had this happen to them where I just happened to be taking care of my granddaughter, and I thought, while she's at school, I could get my mammogram done here in Birmingham. So I went to my daughter's doctor and just had my routine mammogram. And on my mammogram, they saw what looked like little specks of paint. It looked like someone had just gone, and it was a small area that had little specks. Because of the way they looked, they knew that it wasn't just normal specks. So by the time I went through getting the MRI and the mammogram and doing the biopsy, we found out it was cancer. Well, I had always said, if in doubt, cut it out.
Right.
So we decided to go ahead and do a mastectomy. Come to find out, mine was stage 0.
Wow.
I had never really heard of anyone having one that early.
Right.
So at that stage, I just had a mastectomy and did not have to have any chemo or radiation.
Well, that's a blessing.
So I have felt so blessed, but also kind of bad that a lot of people don't find theirs until later on.
Right.
Because if you get a stage 1, a lot of times you have to have either radiation or chemo, and sometimes both.
Gotcha. And was breast cancer something that ran in your family or anything like that?
No, it didn't run in my family. Prostate cancer did, and they've discovered now that dads who have prostate cancer can increase the risk for their daughters to have breast cancer. So if there's prostate, breast, pancreatic, or ovarian cancer in the family, those are the people that really need to be checked and find out what their risk is.
Right.
Now, if the risk is real high, and that'll even be on the mammogram, it'll tell if someone has a risk that's greater than 20%, then they need to go further.
Right.
And have more testing done.
Right. Well, that's good. They let them know the percentage, the risk. That's amazing. So, I guess, since you have been through breast cancer, I guess, what would you tell people, like family, friends, of people that, are currently fighting breast cancer or have fought breast cancer in the past? What would you tell them to support them?
I really believe that every person has a different experience. And so much of the evaluation and treatment boils down to your personal way you look at things and how you feel. Like I said, we had decided, Dr. Frank and I decided years ago, if either one of us had cancer, we were just going to get rid of it. So I actually had a double mastectomy because I had been told that I had a 30% chance of getting it in the other breast. And anyone who's ever had breast cancer or any other type of cancer, they actually are at a higher risk of developing a cancer in their lungs or in the other breast or somewhere else in the body.
Gotcha. So what is some things that, maybe people don't need to ask people that are going through this? Because I know you mentioned one.
Yes, it's better, since it's more of a personal thing, it's better to let the patient decide what they want to do and how they feel about it. Some women have mastectomies and then have reconstruction. Some decide just to get rid of them and not worry about having anything anymore. The main thing is not to ask, well, what stage are you? Because a lot of just friends, relatives know that there are stages to some cancers, and if it's a lower stage, it's a better risk.
Right.
And it can be frustrating when people ask what stage you are.
Right.
Because if you say stage 3 or 4, they're going to look at you as if, oh my goodness. And the thing is, now even with those stages, with the new medications we have, not only the new ways to find the cancer, new ways to treat the cancer with new medications, but they're coming out with medicines almost daily, how to treat patients who either have hormone responsive cancers or don't. And you hear it on the commercials on TV. They talk about HER2 positive, negative, but that's a very personal thing. A lot of people look at it differently. There's some people of faith who want to tell everybody so that they can get prayer from every corner of the world. Then there are others who want to keep it quiet because it is a very personal situation. So the main thing is just to be very cautious when you're talking about it with that person.
Right. Well, is there anything else about breast cancer that we didn't discuss already that you would want to talk about in the conversation?
We've actually discovered that you can prevent breast cancer.
Okay.
And one of the ways is to make sure that you have lifestyle modifications.
Okay.
Which mean healthy weight, which I don't think anyone in Alabama,
it's hard. It's hard.
Having a healthy weight, eating foods that are good for you instead of processed foods like meats that are processed, or red meat is not as good. Eating more vegetables and stuff that comes straight from the earth.
Right. More organic.
Right, more organic. Things that are healthy for you. And the word that I hate to mention, exercise. I never have liked the word exercise, but I tell you what, find something you enjoy doing. If you enjoy walking, that's great.
Right.
Because you can get out and see nature. Another thing is you can dance. I've discovered that I really like to dance.
Yes.
And that's one thing you can actually be doing exercises, while you're dancing to music.
Right.
There are just so many things. In fact, I tell a lot of my patients that if they are watching a television show and they just get up and walk around the room during the commercials, they will have had 20 minutes for an hour-long show, because commercials last about 5 minutes each. So those things can be very helpful in helping to prevent the cancers.
Gotcha. And that's what we want. We want to prevent them or catch them very early.
Right. And don't smoke. And if you drink, don't drink more than 1 or 2 drinks a week.
Right.
Because those things can also cause problems later.
Gotcha. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Daveta. I really appreciate you talking to me, taking some time out of your day to spread awareness, and thank you for sharing your story. I really appreciate that.
Oh, well, I love to tell people, because I would love for everyone, if they do have breast cancer, to be a stage 0.
Right.
And then they can come and they can dance with us. Okay?
Yes, ma'am. Well, thank you so much. And thank you guys at home for watching. And this has been Candid Conversations with Christen. Stay tuned for the next episode, you guys. See y'all soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.